What's up, everybody? It's Dr. Laura Pence here with Understanding Your Greatest Self. I'm going to dive right in today because otherwise I always forget what I'm talking about in the beginning of this show. We're talking about how to communicate your needs in relationships, okay? So we're wrapping up this month of ways of relating and talking about this because one of the things that I notice in my work as a therapist is that whether I'm working with couples or individuals, people generally have a very difficult time expressing what they need in relationships. Now, this can come from a lot of different places, right? So you may be afraid to express needs because, well, I hear this a lot, you don't want to be needy, okay? Now, I think we all need to get over that as human beings. The truth of the matter is, we have needs, and it's important that those needs are met, okay? We have a need to be attended to. We have a need for love. We have a need to feel safe. We have a need to feel special and unique. These are all needs that we have as human beings. And when you ignore those needs, or when you identify having those as being needy, you're going to push aside the things that are going to make you feel whole if you receive them, right? Not only if you give them to yourself, but if others give them to you as well, okay? So I want you to remember that having needs is not being needy. And if it is, well then great, be needy, because it's gonna help you be a more wholesome, more authentic, more present individual, okay? So let's talk about how to get your needs met in terms of how to communicate them to somebody else in a relationship, okay? Now, the most simplest way to do that is to use the words, I need, right? Now, identifying what you need might be a little bit more difficult, okay? So it might be really hard for you to say, for example, I need some attention right now. I get that. But here's what I want you to understand. You're going to have to get uncomfortable sometimes in order to get your needs met. Now, at the end of that, you're going to feel better because if your needs are met, like I said before, you're going to feel more whole, more complete, and you're going to feel like you can show up and be more present, right? But the way to that path, that beginning of the path, starts with getting uncomfortable because using those words, I need, as I said before, is not something we want to do. But that is your surefire best way of expressing what it is that you need, is to just use those two simple words, I need, right? So let's say you're feeling a little bit ignored by your spouse. Hey babe, I need you to pay a little bit of attention to me, okay? I'm feeling a little bit like you haven't really been focusing on me and you've been focusing a lot on work. There you go, right? Was that so hard? Maybe, but that's okay. Get uncomfortable, right? So another one. Hey, Heather, I need some space. I feel a little bit like your ongoing text messages, especially when you only do one word at a time, is a little bit frustrating. She does do that. I need just a little bit of space here, okay? I know it might make her feel a little uncomfortable and it might make me feel uncomfortable too, but that's gonna be the better thing for our relationship, if that's what I needed. It's not. But if it was, it would create a little bit of separation in space so that I can exist and show up in the way that I want to, okay? So I want you to start to think about how can you use those two words more often, I need, and not associate them with such a negative connotation of being needy. It is okay to have needs. You are a human being. We all have them, I promise, okay? So your key question of the week, this might be a difficult one, I want you to identify 3 things that you need in different relationships, or they could be the same relationship, okay? Again, 3 things that you need in different relationships or the same. And then here's the hardest part. I want you to go and I want you to ask for it, okay? I want you to go to that person and say, hey, I need some space, or hey, I need some attention. Or go to your best friend and say, hey, I need some love right now. I'm just feeling a little bit alone and isolated, right? Whatever it is, I want you to really put your brave boots on and move towards that discomfort and ask for what you need in those relationships, okay? All right, so next week, we're gonna start talking about the topic of what happens when you get stuck, right? We've all been there, right? Whether we're stuck in a relationship, stuck in a job, stuck in an emotional state that we don't wanna be in, what happens when we get stuck and how to get out of it, okay? Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Thank you so much for hanging in and tuning in with me. I'm just super grateful that you show up and watch these episodes. Your time and energy is so valuable. So thanks for spending it with me. I'll see you next time.